theatricality and deception. Powerful agents to the uninitiated, but we are initiated.
I'm super excited!
We find ourselves is due to our own actions or inactions. Because it is our own fault, we are the only ones who can change future events. Education seems to me to be a major part of the solution. The remaining part is the abolition of secrecy. Through ignorance or misplaced trust, we as a people have abdicated our role as the watchdog of our government. If we had done our jobs as citizens, we would never have reached this point. Most of us are completely ignorant as to even the most basic functions of our government. We have truly become a nation of sheep.
Well, I didn't know that.
Employee of Children and Youth Services in Delaware County is charged with human trafficking. Police say Candace Talley forced at least 2 women into prostitution in exchange for recommending they regain custody of their children. Police say Talley made money off their sexual encounter.
Boston Children's Hospital will no longer offer genital mutilation for minors. Following severe backlash from the public, last week, Boston Children's Hospital changed its qualifications for sterilizing genital surgeries for patients under 18. The website now reads, to qualify for gender affirmation at Boston Children's Hospital, you must be at least 18 years old for phalloplasty or metoidioplasty and for vaginoplasty.
3 Houston kids were part of the more than 80 who were rescued during a sex trafficking sting all across the country. The FBI coordinated with state and local law enforcement for Operation Cross Country. And here's what we know. 84 victims of child sex trafficking and child exploitation offenses were found. 37 actively missing children were found. 141 adult victims of human trafficking were found, and 85 suspects were arrested.
Montana. Gentleman from Montana is recognized for 2 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today in support of a select committee to investigate the weaponization of the federal government, something I have a lot of experience firsthand. I proudly served as the 52nd Secretary of Interior, and despite the deep state's repeatedly attempts to stop me, I stand before you as a duly elected member of the United States Congress and tell you that a deep state exists and it is perhaps the strongest covert weapon the left has against the American people. There is no doubt the federal government deep state coordinates with liberal activists and uses politicians and willing media to carry their water. The deep state runs secret messaging campaigns with one goal in mind: to increase its power to censor and persuade the American people. Dark money groups funded by liberal billionaires and foreign investors funnel money to shell organizations and repeatedly attempt to destroy the American West. In many cases, they want to wipe out the American cowboy completely, remove public access to our lands, and turn Montana into a national park. They want to control our land and our lifestyle. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to submit a five-part series of investigative articles by the Capitol Research Center entitled Arabella's Long War, Keep It in the Ground, into the congressional record.
lives in Virginia is accusing Fairfax County police officers, including the former chief of police, of participating and providing security for a sex trafficking ring. Today was day 4 of trial at the federal courthouse in Alexandria. The woman, referred to in filings as Jane Doe, says she was forced to work as a prostitute, mostly in Fairfax County, where the officers were her customers. She also claims the officers thwarted their fellow officers who were investigating the ring and its leader, Hazel Sanchez. Sanchez pleaded guilty to running a commercial sex trafficking operation. Former Fairfax County Chief of Police Ed Rossler denies the allegations, as do 3 of the officers listed in the complaint. The former police officers, Michael Barbizet and Jason Mardaco, admitted to being Sanchez's clients, and they resigned.
So what's the latest from what happened in court today?
Well, we've learned a lot over 4 days at trial. Jane Doe took the stand during an emotional testimony yesterday. The Associated Press reports she broke down and sobbed on the stand, saying she was so ashamed of what happened. And the way that this trial works, it's a civil lawsuit. Jane Doe is suing for money damages, so she puts on her case first with witnesses and evidence. The AP reports that the jury has heard from both Doe and another woman who identified all 4 police officers as men they had seen in either hotels or other locations around Virginia where Sanchez ran her operation. Now, the officers have not yet had a chance to put up their defense. That will come later.
We begin, though, with a report that you won't see anywhere else. It's where every child's dream comes true, where you're supposed to feel safe and kids can be kids. As parents, you're going to want to pay close attention to our next story. It's an investigation involving child sex predators in some of the most famous theme parks in this country. Now, as you're getting ready to pack the family van and head to Central Florida's Disney World, Universal Studios, or even SeaWorld, you want to see what we found in our 6-month investigation. We're talking about a pattern of theme park employees arrested in sex stings after work hours. Here's CNN investigative correspondent Kira Phillips.
They are people you would least expect. Some are married with children.
I've been on Craigslist looking for a friend.
Others have been working with children for years.
I work around kids all the time at Disney.
This man even admits to having sex with an underage teen before getting caught.
Talked and kissed.
All of them employees at Florida's Walt Disney World, known as the happiest place on earth.
A report by CNN has found 35 employees at Disney World in Florida were arrested for alleged child sex offenses in the past 8 years.
County deputies have arrested 2 Disney employees in a sex sting at the Lake Fanny boat ramp in Winter Haven. Investigators say Ronald Osborne and Christopher Cox tried lewd acts with undercover officers. Deputies say Cox is an attraction operator at Disney World, and Osborne operates a riverboat at that park.
Well, tonight we are learning more about the man police say molested a 9-year-old boy inside of a mall bathroom.
A pigeon was found carrying a small backpack filled with crystal meth last week at the Pacific Institution in Abbotsford. The correctional facility staff says the bird was spotted with its bag of drugs in the yard on December 29th, and officers set up a trap to catch it. They say they're always on the lookout for drones, but this is the first time they've encountered a pigeon drug smuggler. The warden has confirmed a recent interception of contraband and says the
26th from kitchens across the country going forward. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commissioner is considering a ban on the appliances for new builds. It says those appliances can be a source of indoor pollution, sometimes linked to childhood asthma.
But also the gas, no gas lines in new construction. Is that about fossil fuels, or is it about... Sorry, I'm getting in trouble.
No, that's short answer is about climate change, because methane is 80 times more powerful than CO2 when it comes to heating up the planet. So big time, but in small spaces, it's personal health.
Okay. Sorry, I'm getting in trouble.
This next segment is for you. This Friday, the newest batch of Disney Channel stars grown in the Disney Genetic Engineering Lab will be unveiled to the public.
Right. Now, Tracy, most of our viewers are already familiar with a lot of the products that have come out of the Disney Lab. Yes, but how exactly do you create a Hilary Duff or a Miley Cyrus from scratch? Right. Well, we're going to find out exactly how it's done right now, because joining us live from the Disney Lab is one of their lead geneticists, Dr. Andrew Rourke. Welcome, Dr. Rourke. There's quite an operation you've got going on out there.
Thanks, Jim. So the stars that we see on TV are actually grown right here?
That's correct. They're grown and developed here. We engineer their brains for advanced singing and dancing capabilities, even posing for photos. By the time they grow to desired size, these child stars are fully ready for the camera or the concert tours or whatever Disney chooses to put them in.
That is simply amazing. Now, how long does it take to actually create a star from scratch?
Well, not very long at all. We use the exact same DNA structure for all of our stars, and then we simply tweak minor details like hair color or skin tone.
Right, yeah, we do have some footage here of some of the well-known creations that have come out of your lab. Let's take a look.
Yes, well, that's model 6831-A, publicly known as Mitchell Musso, standard male base with a type 3 skin pigmentation. Wow. And that's model 6831-B. We give him slightly thicker eyebrows and type 5 skin.
Oh, so it's sort of like putting a puzzle together there.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Okay.
What in the... What? Is anybody else's brain doing fucking flips right now? This made my head hurt when I saw it. They're putting it right out there to you. Man, who the fuck is real? What do you mean they're just grown in a lab? This is why I try to tell y'all motherfuckers, man. These people, wow, I always knew they were, not just random people, chosen off the damn street. That's a crock of shit. There ain't been a fucking casting call for any major fucking production since God knows when. What? These people are fucking made in a lab.
And here we've got some of the images of some of the newest models. We're going to be seeing a lot of these kids in the future.
It really looks like you have someone for every kid in America to love it.
Did you hear what they just called them? Some of the models. They don't mean models as in they, pose for the picture. They mean models as in this is like a damn, like when they ask you, what model is your vehicle? Well, this is model such and such. This is model, what he just said, like they got fucking numbers for names and shit because it's not a person. It's not. What in the fuck?
Well, that's the idea, Tracy. Our writers find it very liberating. For example, our new model, Haley, is a singing, dancing, snowboarding, half Japanese, half Indian girl. Wow. Now, finding her in reality would be impossible.
Right, but sounds like a surefire hit to me. Oh, now...
You hear what he said? Half Japanese, half Indian girl. Finding her in reality would be impossible. So basically, why you think all these motherfuckers look so goddamn perfect and shit? They're so motherfucking pretty to you. They're so motherfucking, handsome and all that shit. Man, they're made in a fucking lab. This shit is all fake.
Now, this one's Zac Efron. I've seen him before.
Yes, Zac was actually one of our earliest models.
My daughters love him. I mean, he looks so real.
You hear what he said? Zac Efron was one of our earliest models. What? So that tells you about when they started doing this type of shit. Early 2000s.
Actually, I think we could have done a better job with Zac. He could show more human tendencies. If you look closely, you'll notice there's a certain deadness around the eyes.
I do see that, yeah.
I'm sorry, it's hard for me to watch because all I see is all my mistakes.
Yeah.
Oh, he seems flawless to me.
Well, he's holding up, but there was a bug in that first batch, and as a result, Zac's skin will soon begin to dissolve.
No.
What the fuck? He said there was a bug. So why do you think they be killing off these celebrities and shit? Because eventually, their bodies will deteriorate because they're not fucking real. They got a goddamn shelf life. So they got to kill off the character.
Oh, poor Zac Efron.
All right. Well, it's simply amazing. Dr. Rourke, thank you so much for coming in and spending some of your morning with us. I can't wait to see some of the...
Stars have a 5 to 10 year relevance expectancy. So because they're only going to be relevant for 5 to 10 years, they don't even bother using real people. Fuck real people. Dude, I'm done. I'm just done. Is anybody else's head hurt over this?
These new creations popping out of the lab.
I'm just lost. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments.